By the mid-21st century, the world was running out of oil. Decades of overconsumption had drained most known reserves, and the remaining oil fields had become the most valuable resources on Earth. Nations were no longer fighting for power or ideology, rather they were fighting to survive. In 2051, the United States invaded Mexico to seize its remaining oil fields. This single act shattered global stability and officially began a new era of conflict known as the Resource Wars. Seeing America act without consequences, the European Commonwealth followed, and they attempted to invade the Middle East in a desperate attempt to secure fuel of its own. But the campaign failed, and the oil fields dried up before the war could be won. And by 2060, Europe collapsed into complete civil war. The United Nations dissolved, and global oil prices spiraled out of control. And as energy supplies vanished, the world grew more unstable, and in December 2053, the new plague spread across the United States, forcing the government to impose quarantines and secretly begin a project named Project Safe House, while West Tech was tasked with developing a cure. Europe's collapse made one thing clear: resources meant survival. Fearing that Alaska's oil fields could be taken next, the United States heavily fortified the region. Then in 2066, America made a bold move: an indefinite ban on petroleum exports. China responded immediately. That same year, the People's Liberation Army invaded Alaska, starting the Sino-American War. What began as economic pressure had now become full-scale global conflict. Now Canada was caught in the middle. At first, Canada supported the US's war effort, but the economic cost and constant American military presence angered the population. Resistance grew, and after an attempted sabotage of the Alaskan pipeline, the United States responded brutally. America annexed Canada by force, erasing it as a sovereign nation. At the same time, West Tech's work on curing the new plague was quietly abandoned. Instead, under government orders, the company shifted to something far darker, weaponizing the forced evolutionary virus, which is called, for short, FEV. China knew, and it was extremely terrified about it. And by 2074, the United States went on the offensive, striking mainland China. For the first time, America fielded the largest standing army in its history. Then came the breakthrough, as in 2076, the T-51 power armor entered the battlefield. The impact was immediate. Power armor soldiers were already stronger, faster, and nearly unstoppable. This led directly to the Battle of Anchorage in January 2077, where US forces finally drove China out of Alaska. America had won, but the war hadn't. The fighting simply shifted to China, creating a deadly stalemate. Peace talks were planned and then collapsed. Fear of nuclear war spread across the globe. And behind the scenes, something far worse was happening. And now, while nations argued, corporations planned. As in the mid to late 2070s, Voltec hosted a secret meeting in Southern California. Attending were powerful companies like Robco, Westech, Repcon, and Big MT. Voltec executives Barb Howard and Bud Askins revealed Project Safe House, vaults designed to protect Americans from nuclear war. But protection was only half of the truth. Many vaults were built as social experiments meant to shape and control a future society. When asked how Voltec could guarantee this future, Howard made a chilling suggestion that Voltec could start the war themselves. And as the end approached, America's leaders disappeared. Members of the enclave, including the president and top military officials, retreated to hidden bunkers, including a decommissioned oil rig and the White Spring bunker. Then on October 10, 2077, everything unraveled. At Mariposa's military base, the commanding officer discovered West Tech scientists experimenting on prisoners with FEV. He suffered a breakdown, leaving Captain Roger Maxson in charge. Maxson interrogated the scientists, got full confessions, and executed them for crimes against humanity. And on October 20, Maxson publicly seceded from the United States, demanding accountability. No response ever came, and 3 days later, the world ended. And that's because it was October 23rd, 2077, the day of the Great War.
I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
Oh my God!
Now! Send it down now!
Hold on!
Can't this thing move faster? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
And on that day, the first warnings appeared as unknown submarines were detected off the American coast, followed by sightings of bombers near the Bering Strait, and soon after, a Chinese stealth submarine moved into position and launched its nuclear weapons. Missile launches were confirmed, and the United States was pushed to its highest alert level. Within minutes, the order to retaliate was given. Nuclear warheads struck major American cities across both coasts, and for the next 2 hours, nuclear fire consumed the world. And now, in this war, most warheads ranged from 200 to 750 kilotons. Ironically, the smaller bombs caused worse long-term damage, throwing massive debris into the atmosphere and creating a deadly radioactive blanket over the planet. The Earth was permanently changed and civilization was gone. Nuclear and biological weapons destroyed the climate. Traditional crops failed. Survivals turned to mutated plants like radiation-altered cabbage that could survive the new world. Animals also changed, as by 2080 new species emerged almost overnight. The most important was the Brahmin, a two-headed cattle species that required little water and became essential for food, trade, and transport. And now you may wonder what happened to humanity after the bombs. Actually, human society collapsed immediately. People fought for resources, disease spread, radiation poisoning was everywhere, and suicide became common. Emergency services and the National Guard tried to help, but EMP blasts destroyed communication, breaking command structures, morale collapsed, and soldiers deserted. And all relief efforts has failed. One city narrowly survived, which was Las Vegas, saved by Robert House, who destroyed 68 of the 77 incoming warheads to Las Vegas. Even so, the region fell into trivial chaos for centuries. Those who escaped cities early or lived in rural areas survived more often. They founded settlements like Junktown, The Hub, Megaton, and Diamond City. Others weren't so lucky. And as for the survivors who were exposed to radiation, became ghouls, mutated humans feared and hated by others. A small number reached Voltaic vaults. Some vaults failed horribly, others endured and became the seeds of new civilizations. For example, like Vault 15, which was in Shady Sands, Vault 8, which was in Vault City, and Los Angeles Vault, which was in Aditum. Some people ignored the sirens, believing it was just another drill, but they never got a second chance, and only the people that survived were the people who managed to get into the vaults. And now, even though the Great War lasted only one day, its weapons haunted the world for centuries. The Enclave tried to continue the conflict, as in Appalachia, Thomas Eckhart's actions caused the Scourged Plague and destroyed the local enclave. Chinese military remnants survived too, soon becoming ghouls, others forming groups like the Shi in San Francisco. Power armor, robots, vertibirds, and nuclear silos remained active, and unexploded bombs still threatened settlements like Megaton. Within decades, people forgot nations, borders, and ideologies, and now this sums up the Great War's lore. And as we know, the Great War wasn't caused by machines, and it wasn't fate. Actually, it was human choice, and the world paid for it. And that's gonna be all for today's video. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, as these videos require effort from me. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.